Hello YouTube, just want to offer a quick unboxing of the Christopher Ward Trident Pro 600 with a red bezel. Been anxious to get this, ordered it from London and been waiting for it to arrive. Took about a week after they shipped it, and so this is going to be a brief unboxing and first impression review of the Christopher Ward 600. And now we're going to open it up and take a first look, then I'm going to resize it, and then offer an initial first impression review. So here we are, we have the box. Quite a beautiful looking box here. Alright, so we have the Christopher Ward. We're going to open this up and see what we have here. Inside the box we have microfiber cloth, owner's handbook, and oh yes, the letter that we've seen by before. There it is. Personally signed. That's a very nice touch. Look forward to taking a look at that. I got it for about $630 US with a 15% discount, and buying it through the London website. Pretty good price, I thought. So now we want to take a look at the box itself, or the watch itself. And ooh, there we go. Turn around, get it looking right. There we go. And I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna unbox it, or resize it, I should say, and then take a look. But there it is, right up front. All right. So before I resize it, I just want to take a good look. I took off the peeled off the cover on the face, and very solid, heavy piece. You see it's well protected and got the polished center links there. And I'll take this apart and resize it, and we'll come back and take a look. Alright, I've resized the watch. Took out 2 lengths to fit my 7 1/4 wrists. And let's start with the wrist shot. I love the 43 millimeters on my wrist, 7 1/4 inch wrist. I think it looks just the right size. I've been looking for something this size to really expand my diver collection. All my divers are 40, 41 millimeters. And for 7 1/4 wrists, I like something with a little bit more beef. And I really think this does it. So very pleased with the size. And I do recommend the 43 if you're a 7 inch wrist or higher. Below that it might look a little out of place, but I really think the 43 millimeter really hits the spot for my wrist. So now we'll take it off the wrist and we'll take a look up close. There's the wave dial. The wave dial is quite impressive. After unboxing it, I wore it to my daughter's first night back at school and was very captured every time I looked down and saw the wave. I'm trying to help you see it. You can see it wave back and forth at you. Very nice, and very, very happy with that look. But I'll start with the thing that really attracted me to watch most, probably besides the 43 millimeter, and that is the bezel. This red bezel, the color is just fantastic. I think it is. I'm not usually into colored bezels. You know, I have a lot of black in my collection, but I really think this kind of it's very beautiful. And it's not bright red, it's not too dark, it's exactly the right red, I think. And I think it'll be versatile enough to go with a lot of different things. But the other part about it is the ceramic. I've never owned a ceramic bezel, and I really, just from the pictures of this, it looked fantastic, and I really wanted to take a look at this bezel, and I am very, very absolutely impressed with it. It really is gorgeous, and I'm thrilled with the bezel. I think the bezel makes this watch. So I think the bezel and the clicking action, very solid, not loose, not a cheap sound at all. Just a very practical but fitting click that works for this watch. So beyond that, the dial, I think, is the second thing that really drew me to this watch. I love not only just the wave dial, but the stick markers on the hour hands. You know, I have a lot of divers with the little dots around the dial. You know, like the Submariner. And I was looking for something different, and I really think they hit it just right with the little baton style, stick style hands, markers on the hour hands. The other thing I think really works for this watch is the hands themselves. These are very unique. I just love the contrast of the hour to the minute hand. I think they strike each other just right. And it was very legible sitting in a dark auditorium a little while ago. Able to see it very well. The lume was okay. Charged it up before I went in, and there were some dark moments where I could make it out. It's not as strong as I would like. Well, I love lume. I think Seiko can't be beat in that department. My SKX is just amazing. But this is close behind it. It's acceptable, I think. The one thing that I think may be a little gimmicky is the Trident on the second hand, but it didn't jump out at me just looking at the watch as much as I thought it was. So it's really a nice touch, a nice capture of the Christopher Ward logo, the Trident, and so I'm just very happy with the whole look of the dial. The case has a nice shape to it. It fits around my wrist well, and just very pleased with that. Kind of brushed with some polished edges on the top, and it does attract a lot of my fingerprints, though, I will tell you. But I like the brush finish right here, and the crown certainly is very, very attractive, and very, very happy with the winding action. Very smooth on this 24-2 movement, but it winds very firmly but smoothly. And let's see, we'll change the hour hands, and very smooth. And you see the hacking, and I was able to set it very well. And we'll go all the way around to midnight, and you'll see the date change very instantly. See how close to midnight it gets, and there you go, snaps to 26. Very pleased with that. So very happy with the look of the hands, the movement, and now we see the movement ticking away. 8 ticks per second. It winds in. It feels a little cheap winding, screwing the crown back in, but I find with most watches that gets a little smoother over time. And I was trying to listen for the rotor, and it's very smooth. There's not a lot of sound to that, so I'm happy with that. Looking at the back, the case back, very impressive looking, very solid, about what to be expected, and nice texture to the back of the dial. I'm always into displays, so I'd always take a display back over anything, but minus the display, I think this has a great look to it. The Swiss-made engraving, 600 meters, very good look. And of course, we can move on to the bracelet. The bracelet, solid end links, and I was very impressed with the bracelet. It is very solid. It makes for a heavy watch. It balances out the weight of this. This is quite a heavy piece here, given the 43 millimeter size, but I really thought this balanced out nicely. And you can see, I was kind of surprised that there wasn't any markings on the back of the, there you see it here, if I can get it to show, Christopher Ward, but not on the clasp itself. So it's unsigned clasp, but has a nice solid click, which I don't always get on my bracelets, it seems. But very happy with that, and the Christopher Ward signature on the inside there. One thing I didn't know about, and I'm really thrilled with it, is the micro adjustment. You'll see right here, this little piece here. You pull that, and you can slide this a couple of little notches, and you get a very smooth, very easy adjustment, micro adjustment. And I love this because if I'm out in the heat for a while, my arms tend to swell up about half a little size, and I can just reach down and adjust that. When I get into cooler weather, my wrist shrinks a little bit, can just snug it up just a little bit. And very thrilled that that's such a great design on the clasp, and snaps quite solid. I really like the look of the polished center links. I can't quite get them clean enough for you there, but boy, just this, the reason I like that is because this watch, I have a lot of divers, but the one part of my watch collection that I think was missing was what I would call a dress diver. I dress business casual every day. I wear a tie, no coat, so got a dress shirt on, and so it's not. I sometimes wear a dress watch, but I don't always need a dress watch. And my divers sometimes just look a little too sporty. And I really just love the design of this. Beautiful look overall. I just think Christopher Ward really nailed it with this. And I'm also just captured by the red bezel. I wouldn't have gotten the green or the blue or the black. If that had all they would have had, I probably wouldn't have bought a Christopher Ward. It's this red in particular that really drew me to it. So I don't think you can go wrong with this watch. It's really well made, very high quality, beautiful watch, and I think you'll be thrilled with it. So what I want to do now is we're going to cut here to me comparing it to some of my other watches, perhaps watches you may have and want to see it side by side. Now I thought we would try some comparison shots here to let you see it compared to some of the other watches I have. We'll start with the one of my personal favorites, another one with the same movement, the Marathon GSAR, an excellent piece at about 41 millimeters. So you can see the slight difference. I've always wished that the Marathon was the same size as this. 43 millimeters would be perfect given the height of the crown, the height of the bezel. I mean, it really sticks out there, and so I think a little wider base on the Marathon would have been great. So again, this really scratches that itch for a little bit of a wider case. So love the 43 millimeter. But anyway, so you can see it in comparison to the Marathon size-wise. All right, here we are in comparison with the Seiko SKX. Again, you'll see the slight size variation there from a 41 millimeter case to 43. Very much about the same height. Again, two classic watches here side by side. But I like the baton style hour markers on the Christopher Ward. It just gives it that elegance, and of course you have the sportiness of the SKX. Let's see. Let's try it now with the. Now I don't have a Rolex Submariner. Sorry to tell you, I do have an Invicta. Roughly the same dimension. So again, I think this is a little bit small on my wrist. I really like again the size. You can see the comparison there, and the overall height to the case, roughly the same. But there you go. And here we have it side by side with my Tissot Visidate. Love this little watch, but it's a very small watch. It's a dressy watch for me. So these two will be my back and forth to work. I'll exchange these out depending on the color I can match with the red bezel. But this is a good work watch for me, given the business casual look. And so there it is next to the Visidate. Now the last comparison I'll do is with my Bulova Moon watch. Again, the Bulova wears quite large. I think larger than the Christopher Ward, but you can see roughly the same size, both about 43 millimeters, and so it gives you a comparison there. So I like the Bulova. I like the size of it. I also have it on a bracelet, which I normally wear it with, but bought this secondhand, or aftermarket, I should say. The strap, and you can kind of see the height comparisons. So that's the Christopher Ward. I thank you for listening to my review. Again, the pros are the bezel. and I just think the design of the dial, great solid bracelet. I love the micro adjustments, and just a great way at which it curves around my wrist. So I'll be wearing this. This is probably the happiest I've been with a watch. You know how you look at a watch online, you see the pictures. I've been disappointed so many times, so I waited a long time before I finally pulled the trigger on this. I thought my love for this thing would fade. Every time I saw a picture, it would look less and less exciting to me. But no, it just never went away, so I pulled the trigger, and I can tell you in real life, there's just a nice glamour to it, kind of a conservative look. It just looks like an elegant piece as I got to wear it tonight. If I have any additions or changes, I'll put them in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great one.